What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Hasbro Transformers SDCC exclusive Void Rivals Jetfire and the figures he comes with, the Darak and Solila. So I got this from the Transformers ERC group as a birthday present, thanks to them. And you know me, I'm a big Jetfire fan, so I'm happy to have another one in the collection. This one is painted a little bit differently. It doesn't have the kind of battle damage look that we got with the Siege, Transformers War for Cybertron Siege. Now we've got, painted blue up here. A little bit of white paint there and there. We got some gray paint back here, which we'll see more in the robot mode for the feet. Gray shiny plastic for the boosters. It isn't swirly gray, so I'm happy about that. Red paint for the wings. All in all, it's a pretty good looking Jetfire on red paint here as well. A little bit of white paint for this stripe. It's not fully painted, but there's little accents, little gray pieces here and there. It does look good. It does come with landing gear, so it rolls nicely on those. Overall, it's the same mold as before, so I've always liked this mold. I thought it was a good mold. But they've just changed the colors and the look. For the accessories, we get his blaster, just done in that gray plastic, shiny gray plastic. Not painted, but this can be mounted two different ways. You can take it apart, and if you want, you can open these up, and you can mount them here on the side. Or, if you prefer, this is still a problem, by the way. These like to pop out pretty easily. But if you prefer, you can fold that handle up, peg these back together, and this will mount on the top right there, which I think looks best. We also get some blast effects done in this translucent orange. It's kind of a brighter orange than the original. This can go back here in the engines, so you get that effect. Or we can put them into the gun, so you get that effect as well. Same as the original. That's not new. We don't get the armor parts this time, so he's not the armored up Jetfire that we know from Siege or from the toy. We also get these two. So we get Darak and Solila, which they're from the comic. I haven't read the comic yet, so I don't know the story. But they do appear. Most of the comic is about these two. So I'll just show you them up close. We got silver paint on the head, red for the eyes, silver for the neck, red paint there. There's a lot of paint on this. I'm pretty surprised. Yellow paint, red paint for the hands. He does have a weapon here. I don't know what it does, but he's got a little wrist weapon that he can hold. Kind of reminds me of from Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt's character, it just kind of looks like that. Here's the back. It is like a G.I. Joe, basically. It's a G.I. Joe body. So he kind of has that type of articulation. It does come with a stand with a peg. The head can rotate. Shoulders go out to the side on a disc hinge. Rotates around. 90-degree bend at the elbow. Nothing at the... Actually, no, you do have a rotation here at the bicep. You have the abs, or the chest is on the O-ring style joint, so you get forward and backwards, side to side, and it rotates. Very nostalgic, 3 3/4 G.I. Joe style. Legs kick up to there, back to there, hindered by his butt, out to the side. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee, and nothing at the feet. Thankfully, you get these stands, so these help. You could do like a walking pose, or like a running pose or whatever you want. Here's Solila. She has some paint as well. Blue, light blue for the eyes, green paint, dark green paint, gray paint. It does come with a weapon, a spear with blue on the tips. Same articulation as this guy, so I'm not going to go over it again. Same stand as well. Here's the back. She's got a little bit of a damage or something on her head. So I don't know if something happens in the comic or what, but it looks like she got hit in the head. But yeah, cool that they included these. I don't really need them, but if you're into the comic or you're into the Void Rivals series, then these characters are from that. For a size comparison, there it is next to the Studio Series 86 roller and trailer. It is a nice big jet mode. I've always thought this fit in well with the retail line. Now, I like this mold, so I wanted it in the MP scale. So we do have the oversized KO of the original Siege figure, as well as the Shattered Glass Jetfire. So I have both of those. So now I don't have a retail version. So this lets me do that. By the way, I forgot to mention, you can open up this cockpit here. There's nothing really to see, but he does have that little gray block in there. You can take that out if you want, but you still retain that functionality. All right, now let's get them transformed into robot mode. And we'll start here, fold these flat, fold the wing up. You can unpeg this, fold that around, fold this in, flip the wing over. We don't need this tab because we don't have the guns that attach to that anymore, so you can just fold those up. All right, same on this one. Fold that up. I'll just go a little faster. Fold that in, fold that over, fold that away. Come to the back here, we're going to unpeg the boosters, the front of the boosters from the back of the boosters, and that's what's going to release the legs. Actually, we fold up these landing gear too, get that out of the way. This has always been a tight connection here between the legs and the backpack, but let's pull back on these. Then we can accordion this down, clip it on the inside right here, fold this around. This is going to tuck in and away on the inside of the leg. Clip that in there, fold out the toe, fold out the heel. And having a little trouble, so I'm just going to have a spudger. Here we go. And that's one leg. So same thing on this side, fold that down, fold this in, clip it in, pull out the toe, fold out your heel. All right, so for the upper body, we're going to unpeg these. They kind of already came out on their own, but we can unpeg the arms. They're actually pegged in right here. Fold these out, the outside. Same with this one, unpeg it from there, fold it out. And just leave it one click out because we're going to bring this chest section down. So fold down the nose cone. These are going to fold to the front. The head is popping out from right here, the trap door in the backpack. And we'll bring this down. Get this pegged in right here. These will peg into the front here and here. So make sure you give that a good push. And then this will come right in and clip in here on the inside of the chest. All right, same on this one. Just get that pegged in there. For the hands, come down to here. We can open up this elbow pad piece. Fold out the hand. Fold in this panel here. And then tab this back in. This time it actually tabs in nice and secure compared to the original. That was always a loose point. So I guess they must have fixed that. All right, so same thing on this side. All right, and last step, come to the back. We will lift up on this backpack. This is spring loaded, so you can push that in. This will come up and clip into here and basically shorten up his backpack. So it looks like that. All right, and there is Void Rivals Jetfire in a robot mode, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised how he looks in robot mode. We have a little bit of paint here that's new. So we've got some gray paint for the face with that baby blue eyes, blue up here for the top of the head, red paint here, that same blue for the chest, and then we now have gray paint for the feet. That all looks good. Here's the backpack. This is all painted white here and here, and then the white stripe. Overall, I like it. I like the look of it, especially without all of that dirt or like battle damage paint we got on the Siege. I just never really liked the way that looked. All the articulation is the same. I'll go over it very quickly, but it is the same as the original. Head is on a rotating swivel. It goes up to there, down to there, rotates around. There is a panel here that can push in so you can get it down a little bit because of that. Good looking head sculpt, by the way. Shoulders rotate around. Out to the side. This sometimes pops out. Rotation at the elbow. Single joint elbow, but gets you a little past 90 degrees. The elbow pad kind of gets in the way a little bit. Rotation at the wrist. You have a little auto-morphing feature which hides away the peg slot for the gun, which we'll look at in a minute. I do think this is a little better than it was. So I can open the fingers without it coming disconnected here. So they did seem to improve the connection point there. But you can't have his hands open for a more kind of natural look. But they're still, one piece. You have hip skirts on the side. Legs will kick up to there on a ratchet. It feels like a soft ratchet. Back to there. Out to the side on friction. That holds okay compared to the original. Rotation at the thigh running universal. You do have this feature, which I forgot to mention in the robot mode, or in the jet mode. There is these pull-out handles, which the other robots can hang on to, which I'm not going to do, but you could do that if you want to. Coming down to the knees, we have a single jointed knee gets you 90 degrees. And ankle tilts out to there, toe tilt up and down. And we can, of course, use the gun that we had in robot mode, or jet mode. You can plug those in individually if you want to give them two guns. And on this one, you're just going to fold down the other handle. So you have this look, which I think actually looks pretty good. And you do get two sets of blast effects. So if you wanted to use it this way, you could have one in each gun, something like this. That works pretty good. We can also combine them. So like I showed you before, if you want the one big gun, I'll have to take a look at the comic and see how he used it in the comic. But fold this down, fold that down, tab them back together, and give him his big gun, double barrel gun. And it is still compatible with the blast effects. But you got to use the smaller ones because it doesn't fit next to each other. So you can still do this with the smaller pieces. Now looks good. Is that loose? No, it's okay. And of course we still have these two hanging out with him. And for size comparison, there they are next to the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. And like I mentioned earlier, I think this is a nice size for Jetfire or Skyfire in the retail line. It's plenty big, and it works. All right, for another comparison, there it is with the oversized KO of the Siege Jetfire. And you can see all the armor parts that it comes with, in addition to the the chest plate and the face plate. But yeah, I mean, I do like the new paint scheme. I think the gray face, blue eyes definitely adds something. This one had a light up feature, so the eyes are kind of dead without it lit up. But let's see, does it still work? I think I might have used up the batteries on this hand. But yeah, I mean, I think this new look. I just did this so you could see kind of the difference. By the way, here's the feet. They had white and silver. Now they're just gray. Also, it was a translucent cockpit. So, yeah, I do like the changes overall. So, final recommendations on the Hasbro Transformers SDCC Void Rivals Jetfire. And I actually looked this up on the Hasbro Pulse website just to want to see. And it's no longer, branded SDCC. So, I think it just was a Hasbro Pulse exclusive at this point. So, SDCC must have been just a early release. But on their website, it's $115. Which is a lot. I know it's a Commander class. Commander class, I think the price point has gone up to $100. It was $90 before. At the $115 price point, I think that's kind of outrageous. Because you are getting these two characters, but you're losing the armor pieces, which we had before. And I don't know if these two are worth an additional $25, especially if you're losing pieces. That does feel like they're overpricing this for sure. Now, I do like the color scheme. Don't get me wrong. I love the way this looks. I like the new look of him, especially with the gray paint they've added to the feet and the face and the blue paint. That all looks nice. But if I was buying this, I'd be a little disappointed if it was a STC, special and, at the $159 price point. I guess you get the comic, but still, it doesn't add up for me. By the way, I'm happy to get this thanks to the guys at Transformers ERC. It will be added to my collection. This is it, guys. No more Jetfire, no more Skyfire. My collection is complete. I don't need any more. I keep saying that, but I keep getting more. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.